Hello, I'm Jinyoung, and I will be talking about language disorders. Let's dive into each topic. There are four main topics we are going to cover. What is a language disorder? Type of language disorder, gene and area in brain relating to language disorders, and list of language disorders. Those who have language disorders often have difficulty expressing themselves and understanding what others are saying. The disorder involves the processing of linguistic information, such as grammar, semantics, and other aspects of the language. There are 7% of young children around the globe who are suffering from these language disorders. Males are more likely to get these disorders than females. There are roughly 3 different types of language disorders. The expressive disorder, in which one cannot properly communicate the intended message. The receptive disorder, in which one cannot properly comprehend the language. The mixed type, in which both the expressive disorder and the receptive disorder are combined. The next topic is gene and language area in the brain. The family history is a very important cause of language disorders. Speech and language disorders run in families and are more likely to co-occur in identical twins than in fraternal twins. Researchers became aware of CS, a young English boy who had specific language impairments. Because CS had a visible defect on chromosome 7, the researchers immediately focused their efforts on this defective segment of DNA. And as I expected, this gene, which they named FOXP2, turned out to be directly correlated with specific language impairments. Genetic studies of language disorders have identified a handful of genes that may be involved. In addition to FOXP2 are the genes CNT-NAP2 and KIAA0319. CNT-NAP2 neuroxin plays an important role in brain development. KIAA0319 is thought to be critical for neuronal migration. The 2 most important areas in the brain relating to language disorders are the Broca's area found in 1861 and the Wernicke's area found in 1874. Broca found a lesion in the frontal lobe from a patient who was unable to speak. He proposed that language expression is controlled by only one hemisphere, almost always the left. Wernicke reported that lesions in the left hemisphere in a region distinct from Broca's area also disrupt speech, located on the superior surface of the temporal lobe. When Broca's area is damaged, people tend to have trouble producing speech. Their words become halted or slurred. This is called non-fluent aphasia or Broca's aphasia. Aphasia is any type of disorder that involves language. When Wernicke's area, back in the temporal lobe, is damaged, you get Wernicke's aphasia, which is quite a different pattern of behavior than you get with Broca's aphasia. People have no trouble producing words. In fact, words kind of just tumble out of them, but the words that do come out don't make any sense. People with Wernicke's aphasia, which is also sometimes called fluent aphasia, can also have trouble understanding what others are saying. When both Broca's aphasia and Wernicke's aphasia are present, then you have something called global aphasia, because it globally affects language, instead of only affecting a subsection of it. Broca's area and Wernicke's area are connected in the brain by a bundle of nerve fibers called the arcuate fasciculus. An interesting point is that this loop is also found in deaf people who know sign language, so it's not specific to a spoken language, but the brain adapts to use whatever modality is necessary for communication. When this connection is damaged, people experience something called Conduction aphasia. The ability to conduct information between listening and speaking is disrupted, which makes them unable to repeat things, even though they understand what's being said. We have other aphasia related to specific language functions, such as agraphia, which is the inability to write, anomia, which is the inability to name things, and other specific difficulties in reading, spelling, grammar, pronunciation, and all sorts of other things. But Broca's aphasia and Wernicke's aphasia are the most common.